Hello and welcome to the Daily Forex Report for May 30th. We are looking at the US-Japanese yen pair. This pair did close down, did break through to the downside. Our trend line, we were looking for that to occur. It did happen. We are looking for this pair to potentially go as high as 79.89, possibly as low as 78.53. Look for some resistance around 79.35. and look for some support around 78.85. Now the Euro USD pair moving to the downside, surged down today, had a very strong day to the downside. We're still looking for that to occur. However, we could get a reversal up to 125.57, possibly moving as low as 122.34. Look for some resistance around 24.95 and look for some support around 12300. Now the pound US dollar pair, it had a strong day as well to the downside. Look for it to potentially on a reversal go as high as 156.93, possibly as low as 153.38. Look for some resistance around 156.05 and look for some support around 15400. Now, looking at the US Swiss, it moved to the upside, closed higher. Look for it to potentially go as high as 0.9815, possibly as low as 0.9551. Look for some resistance around 0.9650, and look for some, actually it's already up at that. That should be 97.50, and look for some support to the downside around the 0.9650. There we go. Okay, evidently or definitely look for the US Swiss to be moving higher. We have the Euro USD moving lower to the downside. Pound, same deal. Could get a pullback. We've had all down days so far this week. Definitely moving to the downside. The pound and the euro and the pound moving to the downside, the euro moving up. So general direction play is very simple here. Look for a pullback and then move into the trade as it continues its direction. Now if we look at that from, well, before we get into that, let's take a look at our economic calendar. During tomorrow's session, we have the Swiss releasing their gross domestic product for the first quarter year to date, and that's at 1:45 a.m. Eastern. Consensus is it's dropped from 1.3% down to 0.7%, which would be bad news for the Swiss. Then a little bit later in the day, we have the German unemployment being released for May at 3:55 a.m. Eastern. Consensus on that is that it's dropped from 19K down to a negative 7K. Then at 8:30 a.m. Eastern, we have the gross domestic product for the U.S. being released. Annualized, they're showing a drop from 2.2% down to 1.9%. Of course, that could be negative news for the U.S. dollar. Then the Chinese are releasing their PMI manufacturings for May. So a little bit later in the day, around 9 p.m. Eastern, showing a slight drop from 53.3 to 52. Now, if we drop to the hour time frame and take a look at pullbacks, you can see that we have had areas over the past couple of days as this pair has surged to the upside where we've had some pullbacks during the day. You can see them here. During today's session, had you bought on every low bar, every bar that closed down in the U.S. Swiss and closed at the end of the day, you definitely would have made money. I mean, it's pretty simple when things are trending to do that. Same thing with the U.S., the Euro USD. As you can see here, I'm not recommending that you do that because we do have days where things pull back. But just in general, when things are trending to the downside, pullbacks are a great way to to get into the market. One way to do that is by looking for, if you're looking to go short, is to go ahead and look for lows that have been created and then pullbacks. And when we get a break of those lows, as we did here, here's another one. When we get a break, go ahead and look to sell. Here's another one. And you can just trail that on down whenever you get a new low that's created and the pullback. to the upside. You see some green on the board, go ahead and draw a line, and when it breaks through that low, it's time to go short. Very simple, but very straightforward, very effective when things are trending. Well, that wraps us up. Hope it helps. Until next time, this is Jason Fielder. Good trading.